What is up, guys? It is JZNES back again with another video. Today here we're talking about The Wizard, the movie The Wizard. 1989, I believe, right? Yeah, because Super Mario Brothers 3, spoilers for The Wizard, by the way, is what they reveal at the end. Not that, I think, like, it'd probably been announced at this point, obviously, but, like, the idea is that this might have been, like, the first time a lot of people saw Super Mario Brothers 3 in action. It's kind of a reveal of Super Mario Brothers 3, at least for the characters in the movie. I mean, pretty epic ending to the movie, right? How is the rest of the movie? Oh, shit. Hold on. I got a surprise. Haven't pulled this shit out in a while. Yeah. Guess what? Oh my god, does it still fit? Wait, I got the fingers wrong, that's why. It's got a power glove and a filthy mouth. With every will tear these games down. Anyway. I love the power glove. It's so bad. And I mean bad. Anyway, so the wizard. God, now here's the cord. Yeah, I got this a long time ago. Like, how did I get this? Did I just buy this online? I think this was this a disc replay or something? This couldn't have been. I must have bought this online at some point. Early on in my Nintendo buying phase, you know. This thing's a piece of shit, by the way. We all know that. But in the movie, he makes it look like the coolest thing ever. He's like Lucas, the guy on the shirt. You know, I love the power glove so bad. It's like how most people know this movie is from that line. Or the fact that Mario 3 is revealed at the end. But yeah. So, The Wizard, you know? Like, it's a good movie, I would say. Like, I like the movie. I know there's a lot of, like, contention about the movie, or it's like a bad movie to, like, most people. But I like The Wizard. I thought it was, like, a pretty... You could do a lot worse than The Wizard, let's say. You know, which, I mean, I know isn't high praise, but, like, I know it's kind of a cheesy movie sometimes. Like, there's the cheesy, like, kid-tastic lines, and, like, the family elements are a little odd sometimes, but, you know, it also has heart at the end, with the whole Jimmy and California stuff. I mean, it's a meme throughout the movie, like, California, but, you know, like, at the end, you know, you find out it's just him trying to put his sister to rest, and his twin sister, and, who drowned, and so that's really sad, and, endearing. There's this motherfucker, Putnam, I guess, who's been, like, chasing them the whole fucking movie, because, like, the whole premise of the movie is there's a family, the mother and dad are divorced or whatever. The mom has Jimmy, but Jimmy always runs off. Jimmy's this, like, little, like, I don't know, like, 8-year-old kid or something. He's like this wizard at Nintendo games. They don't find that out till later, but, he's got this, like, obsession with running away and, like, going to California, like I said, to lay his sister to rest. At the dinosaurs from Pee-wee's Big Adventure, you know, my favorite movie of all time, if I haven't mentioned that on here yet. Have I mentioned that before? I don't know if I have. That's my favorite movie of all time, is Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I love it. And this movie actually has some vibes of that, like the road trip aspects of, like, you know, going out, and then, like, when he's trying to find his bike, you know, and the dinosaurs, you know, at the end. I always wanted to go there. Someday I hope I do get to go there. Hopefully they haven't, like, shut those down yet or whatever. I know they shut down the restaurant from Pee-wee's Playhouse. Pee-wee's Big Adventure, that was, like, the diner that was near there or whatever. I don't know if it was actually near there, but, like, the diner that they shot the scene that is supposed to be near there at. But anyway, this isn't about Pee-wee's Big Adventure. This is about the Wizard. So, what else is notable about the film? Like, it's about Jimmy. There's this kid Corey, who's his brother. Oh, fucking Goonies, nice. I just searched, like, classic NES music, and this came up. So still haven't heard like Mario or anything yet, but like, I guess they're going for the gems, you know. Anywho, so his brother Corey wants to take him, because they put him in this home, like, because he's like, they think he's like, you know, mentally unstable or whatnot after the death of his sister, Jimmy, that is. So then Corey's like, this isn't right, you know, it shouldn't have to be like that. So he goes and gets Jimmy out of the home, and they want to go on an adventure to California or whatever. I guess Corey, because that's all he ever says is California. He says like a few lines here and there, but he's like Silent Bob levels of like, he doesn't really talk much. But Corey just wants him not to be there. He wants to go on an adventure with him. He wants him to feel safe and whatnot. So they go on an adventure together. Along the way, you know, of course, all the parents and whatever are super worried. So there's his dad and his older brother, Nick. I don't remember what the dad's name is. But they go after him, and then that Putnam guy goes after him, who's like a guy who goes and finds kids for a living who are missing, and then like turns them in for reward money, I guess. But the dad and Nick are kind of in this rivalry with him. So like he slashes their tires at one point, and the dad like goes and like beats his car in with like a shovel and stuff, and he like rams into him a bunch of times. So they're just like, that's like the B plot of the movie, is they're constantly like butting heads and like trying to find clues to get to Jimmy and stuff. So they're always like one step behind them. So yeah, the mom's not like really a central thing until like the end. She kind of like starts the movie, and then she's at the end at the Video Armageddon tournament, which that's a super notable thing. That Video Armageddon tournament was the inspiration for the Nintendo World Championships. You know, that competition with the cart that was gold, or the gray one also that they gave away in Nintendo Power. Or they gave the gold one away in Nintendo Power. The gray ones were the ones used at the competition. You like won them or whatever. Is that how that worked? You had to win it or whatever? Yeah, I think that was it. So that whole thing was inspired by like the ending to The Wizard there. They did like a real life version of that, which is fucking cool as shit. So that's cool. Yeah, I mean, basically the whole movie is just about them getting into antics, and like there's video game scenes. Everywhere they stop, there's always like video game, like arcade machines and stuff. And you know, they reference games like Double Dragon and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and stuff. Not on the arcade. They also have an NES. The dad and the son have an NES, and they reference stuff like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Mario 2 and Zelda and stuff. So you like hear the music, and you can also see them playing it sometimes. Like, you don't see him playing Zelda, but you see him playing, like, Super Mario Bros. 2 and Ninja Turtles and stuff. So, yeah. And there's this line where Lucas is like, pick any game. I have all of them. I have 97 of them. It's like, the writing there is just kind of, like, bad sometimes. You know, like, that kind of, like, that stumbles over each other. You should say, like, pick any game you want. I have all 97 or something. Like, that would make sense. And then she'd be like, you have all 97? That flows. I mean, it's kind of redundant, but, like, that works, you know? Like, when he says, pick all of them. I have 97 of them. It's like, what kind of line is that, you know? It's like, you know, he's like, I love the Power Glove. It's so bad. Then Corey's like, keep your Power Gloves off of her. There's this girl, Haley or whatever, who's going throughout the movie with them, you know, the fucking infamous, he touched my breast, or whatever, the Putnam guy. And then, like, she gets a bunch of truckers to beat him up for that same thing, even though he never did that, like, but she knows how to, like, make a commotion. That they're always trying to get away from this guy, and so she uses that as, like, a distraction one time, or whatever. It's really weird. Like, it's a weird movie sometimes. Yeah, I enjoyed it. So like, yeah, they're just kind of running around. They're going on a road trip thing. They need to win some money at one point. They win some money, and then it's all building. They're constantly like getting tips and stuff from like the Nintendo hotline and stuff. she says like, oh, I have these Power magazines at one point, obviously like meant to reference Nintendo Power. It's like one big advertisement is what everyone always complains about for Nintendo, but like it's cool, like especially back then seeing gameplay like that was pretty cool, seeing it in a major motion picture. I mean, I don't they do that nowadays all the time. It's not a big deal. I mean, not all the time, but we see that shit on YouTube now, like it's not a big deal. But back then that was really cool, it's a movie of its time for sure, but it's charming, it has a certain charm to it, and I like that. I think that's really cool. So yeah, I mean, it's a good movie. So they get to Haley tells him about this video tournament. She's like, video game tournament, and she's like, oh yeah, well, we'll split the money if you win. And they run into this Lucas guy at one point. He's like the master, of video games. He's trying to be a badass. He's like this, I love the Power Glove, it's so bad, and all this shit. And everyone's like worshiping him, like sitting at his feet like he's the god of games or whatever. And yeah, so and then at one point, so he's wherever he is, and then they move on. But, like, the dad will catch up, and, Lucas tries to tell him, like, hey, he went to this video game tournament thing, he's an asshole, so of course he's going to tell him that. He's also trying to compete in the video game tournament, by the way, Lucas. So they get there at the end, right? Everyone's there, Lucas is there, there's this girl who also wins, I guess, like, the preliminary stuff. Lucas tries to, like, get them to not be in the tournament because, like, everyone catches up, like the dad's there, the mom's there, the Putnam guy's there, and he like points, hey, there they are, go catch them or whatever. Then they go through this like, I think this was before Universal Studios actually opened, but like they go through this whole Universal Studios area, like all these areas in there. It's basically just meant to advertise Universal Studios or whatever. But that's cool. I mean, hey, that's, it's a cool scene. It's like it's kind of like in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I know, there's a lot of similarities. It's kind of like in Pee-wee's Big Adventure at the end there, where he's like running through the Warner Brothers, back lots or whatever. It's kind of like that, except for, with Universal Studios or whatever. They pretty much did take that. They took a lot of elements from Pee-wee's Big Adventure, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. They even name drop Pee-wee Herman. They say that in the movies, like in a movie with this other guy or whatever, even though that's not his name, but like whatever, like that's like his stage name thing. I get it. So yeah, anyway, so they go through this whole chase, and then they're on this elevator, and he like lowers himself down, and the guy's like announcing like Jimmy. There's like this like really over the top announcer guy. Like everything in this movie is like way over the top, Like, there's the guy who's, like, signing him in. He's just like, Ninja Gaiden, hi! He's like, go, move! He's, like, so, like, way over-energized there. And then the guy who's announcing it is like, Jimmy, like, Video Armageddon! He's, like, got this, like, fucking crazy voice that he does, And then, like, the thing rises up and you see Jimmy behind there. Like, he's like, he doesn't know where Jimmy's at. There's like this countdown and the thing like rises up and he's like, there's Jimmy! And then it's like, now I give you for the first time, Super Mario Brothers 3! And then it like, boom! It like pops up, and they like, are all like, well, yeah, fuck yeah! Super Mario Brothers 3! And that's what everyone in the theater was probably doing, like, yeah, fuck yeah! Super Mario Brothers 3! Except like higher pitched and shit, because we're like little kids, like, yeah, fuck yeah, Super Mario Brothers 3, something like that. I don't fucking know. So yeah, I was a little young for this movie. It was a little before my time, just barely before my time, but just a little bit before my time. So I didn't see it in theaters or anything, but I'm giving you, I guarantee you that's what was happening. Kids were, fucking. They shat their pants when they saw that shit. The moms had to, like, take them out of the movie. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. Whatever, fuck. They fucking, that blew their fucking minds, seeing Super Mario Brothers 3 up there on the big screen of, movie theaters or whatever. So, Yeah. So they're playing this game, and it's like this big, like, yeah, fucking get the warp and the mushroom and all the, get the star. And they're like all fucking trying to give him advice on this shit, and he ends up winning, of course, But it's like this big epic thing, The ending of the movie, a lot of build up, but like it's a good ending. It's pretty epic. And then you get a nice somber moment when he like when they're going home and he like gets to go to the dinosaurs at California and set the little lunchbox he's been carrying the whole movie there, and then he's just good, and then that's it. That's the whole movie. But it's like it's a good movie, It's fun. It's good enough. I like it, It's got a certain vibe to it, When I was first really getting into Nintendo stuff, that's the vibe, You don't have every single NES game, but you have your favorites, Or you have all 97 of them, like Lucas or whatever. But, it brings you back to that time, when Nintendo was the shit, man, Fucking a great time in history. I wasn't even alive yet, but it was still, through everything I've experienced about that era, is really cool, And I love the NES. Obviously, my fucking channel name is JZ NES. Like, that's why that is, because I, collected all of the games for it or whatever, and this movie kind of encapsulates that hype of the time, like, when the NES was everything. Like, the Super Nintendo hadn't come out yet, like, NES was still on top of the fucking world, It's great. So, yeah. It's kind of the end of the 80s, That's the movie. It defines... It gives you all of what was great about the 80s, and then you just... then it's a perfect send-off, for that era. It's a little slow in parts, and, it's not always the best movie or whatever. I mean, some of the lines, like I said, are kind of weird or cheesy or something, but, for, like, a family or, like, a kid's movie, as a celebration of Nintendo, those are the parts that really stick with me. The rest of the movie is good, though. I mean, it's entertaining enough, and it's not even that long. It's like an hour and a half, so it's like the perfect, solid 80s, like, kids movie, Yeah, not that it's amazing or anything. I say perfect, but I don't mean like, oh, it's a perfect piece of cinema, I mean, it's like, it's good. It's just, it's a good movie, And, if you're into Nintendo, I mean, it's worth a look, It's a curiosity. It's a piece of a different time. Piece of the 80s, So, yeah. It's just fun. It's a fun movie. And it's got a little bit of heart. It's got a little bit of epicness. And a little flavor of the 80s there. Good flavor of Nintendo in their heyday, Or heyday. Their prime. Their, I don't know, prime. Not like their inception, Like when they really hit the market big. Nintendo was on top of the fucking world back then, They made a whole movie about it. It's fucking called The Wizard, So, yeah. I like it. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. It's a motherfucking wizard, So, until next time, this has been JZ NES saying keep it classic. Stick around for more reviews, underrated games, movies, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I love the Power Glove. It's a piece of shit. It's so bad. JZ